town hall today, I've never met her before, and you're just making fun of her. How did that make you feel as a woman?
I didn't really care.
What did
One thing I will say about these, man, is that, yes, that's what I'm talking about. So Trump was on CNN, busting their tails. They didn't know what to do. They was asking them gotcha questions, which I think is silly as hell. And he was speaking freely, man. He was going toe to toe with them, toe to toe. And when they asked people questions afterwards, CNN did not get the responses that they wanted. I want to show y'all this, man. Absolutely phenomenal.
Since about tonight's town hall, the former president played with some of New Hampshire's Republican and undeclared voters who were in the audience. One to go to CNN's Gary Tuckman, who's with a group of them now. Gary?
Anderson, 8 people were with. They were in the audience. What they also have in common is none of them have voted in the past for either Joe Biden or Hillary Clinton. 6 of them voted for Donald Trump in the past. 1 didn't vote in the past 2 elections. 1 was too young to vote, but that's what they have in common, that most of them are Trump supporters. What I want to ask you first of all is, do you think, show of hands, anybody think Donald Trump looks better after this town hall? Any of you think he looks worse? Any of you think the same thing about him as you did when you walked in? So all of you feel that way. First thing I want to ask you about, Donald Trump, we have to be blunt about it, is not a truth teller. That's the way he's always been when he was a businessman.
Bruh, how in the world can you start off that way? First of all, I just want to start off by saying that Trump is not a truth teller. He's always been that way ever since a businessman. He's not a truth, he's a liar. I want to start y'all off by saying that. First of all, you know, that's my own unbiased opinion. Okay, very unbiased. Who starts off like that, bruh?
He's been a politician. He has lied about the 2020 election, stuffed ballot boxes, it's all made up. He's lost dozens of court cases. Does it bother you that he keeps talking about 2020 and not 2024? I'll ask you first. This is Jonathan Leslie. He's 40, Republican, voted for Trump twice. How do you feel about those lies?
So I feel like part of it's also the media narrative, as you guys asked him the first question at the town hall about the 2020 election, rather than current stuff.
So don't you think he could say it's time for me to start talking about 2024 and not lies that aren't true?
Couldn't the media ask him a question about 2024?
Well,
Boom! Punk ass. First of all, when you're asking people questions, you don't give them your biased take so that they can start thinking sideways and answering questions in a certain way simply to appease you because you know what type of stage you've placed them on. That's the type of pressure that you're trying to place on these people by giving them your own biased opinion, first of all, and then asking them leading questions so that they can potentially agree with you. So I'm sure his feelings are super hurt by this first gentleman answering the question the way he did, dumbass.
there were questions, but you're right, that was the first thing, but that's something that was on our mind, and that's why I was asked first. Mike McLaughlin, he's 21. He is undeclared, which is what you do in New Hampshire if you want to be independent. He voted for Trump in 2020. Mike, same thing to you. What do you feel about Trump continuing to talk about those mistruths from 2020?
He asked him the same damn thing. So what about you? What do you think about Trump talking about the same mistruths from 2020? Bruh, let them have their own free thought and ask them an open-ended question that is not biased, bruh, an objective joint. Can you do that? Is this...
Personally, I'm getting tired of hearing about it. I'm very much more so interested in the problems that we face now, and I would prefer to hear him discuss the present issues more so than going to the past.
65-year-old Stephen Farnsworth, Republican, voted for Trump twice. Your opinion about that?
Well, I think that he's committed to it. That's what he feels. That's what he thinks.
Well, do you think he thinks that, or do you think he just keeps saying it to try to will it for people like you to believe it?
I think he actually thinks it.
You do?
No, he may.
Even though he keeps losing in the courts over and over again.
Bruh, who is this dude asking the questions, man? I swear, listen, I don't want to punch a white man because I know that I might go to jail. Man, can you just ask them a question and let them talk? For real, just let them talk.
He does say what's on his mind.
Okay. Do you think so? That it was a rigged election?
I'll abstain.
You'll abstain, okay. All right, the next person on our list, 64-year-old, and you don't mind me saying your age, Cindy Owning, do you?
Not at all.
It's too late now, bruh. And next we got 64-year-old. I'm sorry, do you mind me telling your age? Because, you know, I pretty much already, the cat's out of the bag already. Everybody already know how old you are.
Okay, we were joking about that
For at least
before.
one more month.
Yeah, she's a Republican. She didn't vote in the past 2 presidential elections. How come you didn't vote, A, and B, what do you feel about the continuation of these lies about 2020?
You know, I don't know what's a lie anymore, but I think there needs to be a new narrative.
And what's the new narrative?
Current situations that are, you know, involving all of us.
Current situations. But when you say you don't know what's a lie is a lie. I mean, all these courts have said there's one of the stuffed ballot things he's talking about was in Fulton County, Georgia.
Bruh, she literally just now said that she much rather not even discuss the old stuff she want to talk about today. Go in and fully explain. I want to break this down because I know you said you don't want to talk about it, but I just think it's so juicy. I want to stay there. Can we park there right quick? I get it that you're a guest on the show and I should probably appease you, but at the end of the day, I have a job to do, and Cooper want me to, or whatever the ghost face dude is, the ghost hair dude, he want me to go ahead and talk about some old stuff, just like they kept asking him. And come on, bro, who hired this dude? Go get your mans. Whose mans is this?
No stuffed ballots. I was there. I was watching with my own eyes. I mean, none of it's true. And I think a lot of people think he tries to will it to be true. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. In that corner right there, that's Noel Licata. He's 18. First election coming up. He's currently undeclared, but leaning Republican. What do you feel about him still talking about 2020 and these things?
What about you still talking about 2020? Ain't gonna miss the Rogers neighborhood looking ass.
I don't think anybody wants to hear about 2020 at this point. Everybody wants to hear about 2024, the future, and what comes after that. And he did not talk enough about that tonight.
Go ahead and say why, young man. Go ahead, please say why. Because I hope you see what he just now did to you. He's trying to manipulate you. That's what he's trying to do.
Alyssa Malloy. Alyssa's 37. She's a registered Republican, voted for Trump twice. Your feeling about this?
I think it's time to move on from the election, the 2020 election.
Do his fibs offend you?
I think he truly believes it.
You do too?
I think that's what he truly believes. I think a lot of his supporters believe it. Not all of them, but there are a lot of people who do believe it, and he tries to, go along with that, and I would agree that he wills it to be true.
Let me ask 22-year-old Cooper Walsh, who is also undeclared but voted for Trump in 2020. Do you think Trump believes that stuff?
I definitely do think he believes it. I think he's very passionate about it, or else he probably wouldn't still be talking about it. But I think that it's time for him to move on. He needs to talk about what he's going to accomplish in 2024. And I also think the media shouldn't have focused on the huge segment on the 2020 issue. We already know what he thinks about it. I think we should be talking about more of the other issues that the questions had in the audience.
Thank you, young man. 22-year-old just now handed you your ass, bruh. You keep hearing them over and over and over again telling you that they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to hear about it. They want the media to cease and desist when it comes to that conversation. But yet you, sir, Mr. Rogers, who are the media, you keep wanting us to talk about it. We don't want to talk about it. Leave it be.
But would it be helpful, Karen Olsen, who's 56, she's undeclared, not registered Republican or Democrat, but voted for Trump twice. Wouldn't it be good if he would just say, I'm ready to move on. It's 2024. I'm going to stop lying. I'm going to be honest about it and move on. Wouldn't that be helpful? And then the news media wouldn't ask him about it if he would acknowledge it.
What? So you saying that the only reason... Yo, you are not going to Me Too movement this. You're not. We wouldn't even ask him about it if he didn't keep talking about it. Well, guess what? You have your opportunity to stand on stage with him and discuss anything in the world with him. Anything. But yet, not only did the lady want to talk about it, Anderson Cooper wanted to talk about it, and now you want to keep talking about it. And you wonder why he's talking about it. Bro, you want apples? Why you keep on talking about apples? Huh? You always talking about apples. What you want to eat? I'm cooking noodles. You want some noodles? Why you keep on talking about noodles? Every single time I see you, you want to eat some noodles. Y'all cooking noodles. You offer me noodles. Dumb.
I'd like him to move on. I would like him to stop talking about it, but it is his opinion. So you have to attach that caveat, lie all the time. It just keeps it going. So it's his opinion, and he has a right to have it.
All right, just yesterday, a 9-member jury found Donald Trump liable for sexual abuse. And he's continuing to mock Jean Carroll, this woman who was sexually abused, according to this jury. He also says that that was rigged. You know, this not only is a jury of his peers, he's a New Yorker. He may live in Mar-a-Lago right now, that mansion in Palm Beach, Florida, but he was born and raised in Queens, New York, wanted to make it big with his father in Manhattan, did. He's a New Yorker. This was truly a jury of his peers. How does it make you feel that he's still making fun of this woman? I'm gonna ask the women that question.
This seems like a Saturday Night Live skit. He's extremely unprofessional. What am I missing? Exactly what am I missing, bro? Like this dude right here wants to talk about all the BS that don't matter. Ask them none of what you're talking to them about right now is going to sway them to vote. You want to talk about the things that you want to push in front of your audience to stop them from voting for him. But obviously people don't give a damn about that stuff at all. People have made up their minds of what's important to them. And you obviously don't want to talk about anything that's important to them, to the country. You want to talk about BS, bro. He's wasting these people's time.
It's uncomfortable. It's definitely uncomfortable. And I just don't know what to think anymore.
How do you feel about that?
It makes me uncomfortable. I haven't followed it too closely. So I
agreed.
I'm sure that old dude, Mr. Rogers, will break it down to you. You ain't follow it closely? Well, let me bring you in on the scoop, girlfriend. I'm gonna tell you all the tea.
I don't feel like I have a strong opinion.
And how do you feel? I mean, this was a jury. These jurors weren't told, you have to say this. This is our system in the United States of America. This is an amazing system. It's not a perfect system, but it is an amazing system, particularly compared to lots of other countries.
Y'all see how he's asking only the women about this? Come on, ladies, give me something. I need a sound bite that's going to help me out. Let CNN know that I'm doing my job. I might get fired. You see how good Tucker was doing on Fox, and they fired him. I might get fired over here. This is all I got. Please say something negative about Trump, please. I beg you to say something negative about Trump. I'll give you $13.
They agreed on this. And here he is at this town hall today. I've never met her before, and you're just making fun of her. How did that make you feel as a woman?
I didn't really care.
Why did you
You ass. But that's what you get, bro. That's what he get. That's right what he get.
I don't know enough about the case. Women can be victims of abuse. Women can also make up stories. I mean, we see it all the time. So I don't know. All of these situations where people are coming out 20, 30 years later, I don't listen to it.
One more question for you, Mike Pence. He said regarding January 6th that he doesn't think Pence was in danger. He doesn't feel the need to apologize to him. Does that offend any of you? That he's not willing to tell Mike Pence, I'm sorry, you could have been hanged.
Come on, guys. This is the last one. Come on, that don't offend nobody. Come on, you. I know it offends you. Come on, brother. You 18 years old. It gotta offend you. Please say it offend you. Okay, 22. Gotta offend you. One of the ladies. Y'all get offended fast. Women get offended fast. I need for it to offend somebody. Please tell me it offends somebody so I can go back and still have a job with CNN. This dude is doing a horrible job. I could have done a better job than you, bruh. What's this dude's name? I want to know his name. They are killing you, man. They're not even trying. All they're doing is answering your questions, and they are killing you with answers to your questions.
Anyone offended by that?
Is anyone offended by it? Please tell me one of y'all offended by it. Is anyone offended? You not offended? Come on. You want to call somebody and see if they're offended? Anyone have a family member that might be offended? Please tell me you're offended.
Sure.
Oh, you are. And the final question. Any of you ready to say you're ready to vote for Donald Trump in 2024?
I am.
You are?
Sure.
One person. The rest of you not ready to say that yet. Thank you all for joining us.
He got the one out of, listen, he's happy about that. He's going to go back bragging about that. See? Y'all see that? Because if I didn't ask them all them leading questions, it might have been 5 hands up at the end of the questioning, but it was only 1. It's a win. Okay? Do I get to keep my job? Please say I get to keep my job. That was so damn desperate. That was desperate as hell.